Your microbiome is starving right now. It needs more good quality food. And the good bacteria is saying, give me food. But you keep eating processed food. We're eating eggs, we're eating dairy, we're eating meat, we're eating things that don't feed the good bacteria, right? So what do we do to feed the good bacteria? We use prebiotic supplements, of course, but we start first with the diet, okay? We start with the diet. And the most important thing to do is build on fiber, plant fiber. They've shown in studies that a variety of plant fiber is the most important thing for establishing a balanced gut microbiome. So you want to have as many different types of plants as possible. You don't want to eat just broccoli and cabbage and cauliflower and potatoes, and that's all you eat, right? That's 4 different types, okay? You want to have a wide variety, every type of vegetable. When you do one, do another one the next day, another one the next day. Do your best to keep the variety going. If you get a green apple one week, get the red apple the next week. If you're getting red grapes, get the purple grapes the next time. If you're getting spinach, get the collard greens the next time. Just keep the variation going, because the variation is what's going to head in feeding the good guys in your stomach. And if you can't feed the good guys, you won't have resilience against the bad guys. Because people always talk about, hey, I want to kill the bad guys. Well, guess what? The thing that's keeping the bad guys from harming you are the good guys, the good bacteria, your bifidobacterium, your lactobacillus, your Akkermansia muciniphilus, those things. All these things are the most important part of keeping you healthy. If you don't have good bacteria, you have bad bacteria, and it takes over, right? So you got to feed them, and you're not going to feed them from animal products, okay? Small amounts of animal products here and there, 2-3 times a week, something like that, can actually help with improving diversity in the gut microbiome. But when we're doing it every single day, often it distorts the gut microbiome. Or if we're doing small amounts every day, it's fine. But the idea is 90% plants, 10% animal products, if you can. 90% from plants, maybe maximum of 15% from animal products, right? That's how you stay healthy. So the next thing I want to talk about is, if you're trying to go ahead and heal up, you want to go ahead and focus on more and more fiber, but then you also want to do the prebiotics, okay? We got acacia fiber, we got inulin, we got apple pectin, we got, bee propolis, which is a huge one. We got all kind of different options. We got certain herbs, we got the cistus icanus, we got, olive leaf. We have things that help to grow good bacteria as well. But you have to have these things in their natural form, okay? You can't be using olive leaf extract with alcohol, you know what I mean? You got to be using real herbs, straight herbs, And in terms of the actual prebiotic fibers, we're talking about the inulin, the acacia fiber, the apple pectin. The bee propolis is more of a metabolic enhancer, enhances the growth in the metabolic rate of good bacteria. So that one's good. But there are just endless prebiotics you could cycle with and go through. But the idea is that you want to be able to feed them first with the good diet, be able to expand, 20, 30 different foods. And then at that point, you add the prebiotics in, okay? And you start to add them in on a rotation. If you're doing acacia, you're not doing it every single day. You're doing it 4 days a week. The apple pectin, you're doing 3-4 days a week. The bee propolis, you're doing 3 days a week. The arabinogalactin, you're doing 3 days a week, et cetera, et cetera. So if you want to heal up, all the things you got to use for the gut are going to be natural plants, okay, plant-based, because those are the things that make bacteria grow. You don't heal, you don't grow bacteria from synthetic supplements. You don't grow bacteria from meat, from eating meat 3 times a day. You don't grow bacteria from taking good probiotics, actually. You just need more and more prebiotics. These are the food that are actually going to feed it. Because if you take probiotics and you don't eat the right diet, you're eating mostly meat and you're taking probiotics, well, good luck. They're not really going to culture. And, if you're eating all the wrong foods that are triggering you and you keep trying to take prebiotics, it's going to make your stomach feel worse. You're going to feel bloated. You're going to feel unwell, right? So reach out to me if you have questions. My website's endsickness.org. I have hundreds of articles, hundreds of videos in there teaching you how to heal from my 22 years of experience. Thanks for watching.